Guten Tag, asking Kamerad. The end of World War II is here. It has been a long and grueling 6 years, lasting from 1939 to 1945. And today, I have brought a very special person onto my show to tell you viewers about what really went on during the war, how there were inside spies, and not everything that you saw was really the truth. But before I introduce my special guest, I would like to thank today's sponsors, Project 1065 by Alan Gratz. I have gotten all of my resources from that book, and it is an amazing book. 10 out of 10 would recommend. You have to read it at least once in your lifetime. Now, let's get started. Today, I have brought on, like I've said many times, a very special guest, someone named Michael O'Shaughnessy. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be on your show, and I'm ready for any questions, anything that you throw at me. I'm ready. So let's get started. Whoa! Let's not get started too quick, Michael. We first have to introduce you. Now, for those of you who don't know, which all of you don't know except for me, Michael O'Shaughnessy was an inside spy in the Hitler Youth Regiment from the ages of 13 to 14 years old. Thank you for your service. Yes. No problem. It was an honor to serve my country and to serve all of the other countries fighting for what's right. So now, Michael, I've brought you onto the show to talk about your experiences during the war and what you've seen. So actually now, without further ado, let's get straight into the interview. So now, for my first question, I would like to ask you, when did you decide to become a spy, and why did you make that decision? So I decided to become a spy whenever I was 12 years old. And the reason why I decided to do that is because when me and my family were walking down the streets, I saw a man getting beat up by Nazis, and I realized that I can't do anything, just stand on the outside. So I decided to go and help on the inside. And my parents had also been deployed to go and help in Nazi Germany. So I also decided to go and help in Nazi Germany. Of course. I understand 100%. And that's a great answer. And you are a tremendous and incredible young gentleman. I want you to know that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Of course, no problem. Now, my next question for you is, did you ever think about abandoning your duty and running away or something of those sorts? Of course. Every day I was a 13-year-old child who would have to go out and fit in with Nazis, which was just terrible experience for me because I would have to sit there and watch as I would beat someone up, an innocent person who they consider was terrible because they weren't the Aryan race. To answer your question just straightforward, yes, I did. Every single day that I was out in that field, I did. Wow. So my next question was, how has your time as a spy changed your life or the outlook on life? Well, it's changed it very drastically. I mean, I don't trust people anymore, especially knowing that I was a spy and no one knew that. Wow. Um, here's some tissues. Um, how is your mental health? My my mental health is not the best, as you can see. I I have major depression, major anxiety, major paranoia, but I am going to therapy and hopefully it will improve. Yeah, that's very normal for people who have been in wars and for people who have done that. And if you want, I can send you my personal therapist who's amazing. You ever think about what would happen if you never became a spy? Every day. Well, I'm very glad that you did not decide to not become a spy, because without you, Professor Goldsmith would have died most likely, and we probably would have never been able to build the atomic bomb. And even if we did, then it would have been years later, and more casualties could have happened, more territory could have been stolen, and a lot of terrible, horrendous things could have happened. I have to ask, Was Fritz actually a friend, or were you just using him to get plans to Project 1065? Of course he was my friend. He was my best friend, my only friend that I had during that time. He's the only one that made it better besides Simon and my family. Okay, that's that's great. I'm glad that you were able to make a friend through that traumatizing period. Um, my next question is, if you could go back and do it all over again, would you? 100%. Even though it's ruined my life, I would still go over and do it because it helped the greater good, and it helped a lot of people. So I would obviously go and do it again. Okay, so you say that you would do it again, but would you have changed anything that you did in the past that you didn't like? Yes, I would have been more sneakier with getting plans for Project 1065, and I wouldn't have let Simon die. I would have been there that night that I had to be there. I would have taken out Max quick if that's what it means to do. That's what I would have done to make sure that Simon stayed alive because he deserved to live. All right. Well, on another note of Fritz, if Fritz found out early on and made a deal with you to be a double agent, uh, would you have accepted it? But here's a twist: if you didn't accept it, then he would turn you in. So would you have accepted it, or would you not have? I definitely would not have accepted it, and I would have sadly had to put an end to Fritz and figure out another way to get the plans to Project 1065. Now, you keep on saying Project 1065, Project 1065, Project 1065, and the plans for it. But what is Project 1065? Project 1065 is a plan to have a new and improved fighter jet plane that would have eventually wiped out the Allied forces and probably would have led to Nazi and Hitler's victory in the war. Wow, and you were able to get the plans, memorize them, and recite them to Simon so that he could try to get them back to England, but you just had to do it yourself. And that's an amazing feat. I commend you for that. But my next question is, would you recommend being a spy to anyone? No. Being a spy is very hard, very grueling work, and if you're not mentally strong enough or physically strong enough, you will die. Okay, well, that means that I'm not doing it. Do you think that you could have done all that you did without Simon? No. Simon is the one who helped me to hone my skills to be able to have good memory, and he's also the one who helped me to get over my fear of heights, which is what got me into the next level to be able to keep an eye on Fritz and keep an eye on the plans to Project 1065. Yes, rest in peace to Simon. He was an amazing person from what I've heard. During your journey, you've experienced both fear and bravery. How did you how do you think your understanding of courage evolved from the beginning of your service to the end? Well, a big thing for me was Simon. He helped me get over fear, and with fear turned my fear turned into bravery, and it just helped me so much because if I would not have gone over my fear of heights, then in the final battle between me and Fritz, I would not have been able to do what I did, and me, Fritz, and Goldsmith probably would have died. No, not even probably, would have died. Well, I'm glad that your fears have turned into bravery. Also, one of the toughest challenges you feared in your time there, and how did you overcome it? My toughest challenge there was definitely just heights and being scared I wasn't gonna fit in and I was gonna get found out. I overcome heights by being pushed off of a building, and I just had to push through the fear of being found out. Really, I couldn't do anything about that. How did you approach decision making whenever you were faced with uncertainty? I just acted on impulse. I didn't let my mind take over, and I just followed my gut feeling, and that's what got me through those 2 years serving. What was the most difficult part about pretending to be a loyal member of the Hitler Youth? Definitely being rude to the Jews and having to sadly help beat people up that did not deserve the beating. I understand that. Well, I can. I understand that as much as I can understand that. And then, how did you manage to balance your real mission with constant pressure to fit in? Well, a good part of my mission was to fit in. So I just combined my mission and the ability to fit in, and there we go. I become Michael O'Shaughnessy. Were there moments when you doubted your ability to carry out your role as a spy? 100%, yes. Especially whenever I thought that Simon had died the first time, not when he actually died, but whenever I had to go and pick him up and I wasn't able to, I definitely thought that it was over and I would have been found out and Simon would have died, and I definitely doubted if I could really continue to do this, but I did, and I could. This is gonna be the final and last question. How did your experiences during the war shape your view on bravery and sacrifice? My experiences during the war definitely made it very apparent to me that you have to be brave in every situation that you face, no matter how big or small it is, and sometimes sacrifice is needed to help the greater good. One death is better than 30,000, and sometimes one death can save 30 million. All right, well, those are all of the questions I have for you, and that was a very good interview, probably one of my best, one of my favorites, and I'm happy that you felt safe enough in order to be very vulnerable with us, and I saw those moments, I saw those tears, and we all have it. Okay, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Um, and you're mentally, you said that you're mentally not well, and you're very traumatized from your experiences, which anyone would. And I, once again, will even bring in the personal therapist for you. He's should be right around the corner. He's coming around in about 2 minutes. Um, yeah. And also you have done so many great things, including your successful recreation of Project 1065 plans from your memory after only a couple glances. But overall, this interview showed me that you had to make quick, fast decisions. You are mentally, emotionally, and physically wounded, and probably most importantly, a lot of the work that went on during World War II or any war happens in the shadows. It makes you wonder about how, if you could do all of that under their noses, what could someone do under yours?
Yo, I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away. And be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay. Productions!